Hear me out. What if you could make one small change to the way you plan today that would make your life better forever? The idea of making your life 1% better was started by author James Clear, and it comes from his book Atomic Habits. This concept relies on making small, consistent improvements that make your life better in the long run. Instead of aiming for drastic changes, Clear suggests that by implementing improvements that are so small and so easy to attain now, over time, you will see remarkable results. And there are some really effective ways that we can apply this 1% better strategy to our planning, routines, and systems to help keep our lives in order so that we can maintain focus on what's important to us. So let's talk about some small improvements that you can make today to get 1% better at staying on track. So the first and easiest adjustment that you can make to your planning to get 1% better, basically make things 1% easier on yourself, is to find your favorite pen and buy 1,000,000 of them. This is my favorite pen. No, this is not a habit-based improvement. This is a form of making your habit more attractive. So our habit that we want to make more attractive is planning and using our planner. But if you associate your planning habit with a form of fun, luxury, or other attractive element, you're much more likely to associate it with positive emotions and thus want to do it more. So finding your favorite pen is a practical, easy 1% upgrade that you can make immediately that will just make the process of planning every day more enjoyable because you like to write with this pen, it's fun, and when things are fun and more enjoyable, you will be much more likely to do them. So this is my favorite pen that I have before you here. It is the Uniball Jetstream ink. I use both 0.5 and 0.38, and I write in black ink. And I have a bunch of these pens. Lots of these pens I've gotten as promo items as part of a planner that I've purchased, but I've also purchased a couple pens myself, such as these two pens, and then these are in a pack that I got off of Amazon. They're a few of the 0.38 pens for when I'm in a pinch. I also personally love a multi-pen. I write in black ink, as I said, but my multi-pens here have multiple colors of ink. Some have blue, green, red. This one also has a pencil. So having especially my favorite multi-pens with all the different colors, but most importantly, the Uniball Jetstream ink accessible to me ensures that it's just super easy for me to get right into planning, and I know I'm gonna have a good writing experience. I mean, this pen just writes like so nicely. Like that's not gel ink. That is a ballpoint pen. Ugh, I love it. It's so beautiful. If you're like me and you're a huge pen nerd, you might even distinguish between your favorite ballpoint and your favorite gel pens. So this is my favorite ballpoint. My favorite gel pens are Uniball Signo micro pens. This is in the micro size is the 0.05. And when I figured out this was the pen that I love to use, I just bought a whole pack of them on Amazon. I have them in a drawer and I still use it all the time. I also love the way this one writes, especially on paper in like a Leuchtturm or a Moleskine notebook. It's just so smooth and it just never like globs up like gel pens are wont to do. And having a pen that you like cannot be underestimated because it reduces so much friction. In this way, it's also a way of making your habit as easy as possible because you know if you're ever without a pen, you can just go to your big box of pens and grab one, or you always know what type of pen is your favorite if you're at a pen store and you want to buy something new. You don't have to think about choosing your pen. You just have your pen. You can liken it a little bit to Steve Jobs wearing the same shirt every day so he didn't have to think about his outfit. It's one less thing taking up your mental space so that you can get right into doing what's important, which is your planning habit. So having your favorite pen is a 1% improvement that makes your planning habit that much easier because you don't have to think and expend mental bandwidth to think about which type of pen you're going to use, and also more attractive because if it's your favorite type of pen, it is the pen that you like using the most. It just makes planning feel more high quality as a habit, and thus you're more likely to do it. I want to hop in here and have a quick chat about this week's sponsor, which is short form. We all want to learn way more than we have time for, especially viewers of this channel. I know y'all can relate, and this is where short form comes in. Short form is the best way to get through all of those books that you've always wanted to read. They make the world's best guides to nonfiction books. They're like book summaries on steroids. It's not just the content of the book as well. They also add smart insights, which helps you connect the book that you're reading to other authors or text. And they even have interactive exercises to help you apply what you've just learned. I am a big fan of the communication, productivity, and psychology genres. In fact, I recently picked up the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's this book about how your brain works differently in different contexts, and it's really cool, but holy God, is it long. So before reading it, I checked out Shortform's one-page summary of its key points to make sure it was worth my time, and it totally is. And I can always return to Shortform's more detailed guide to reinforce the key points as I make my way through the book. Shortform publishes new guides and articles every week, and subscribers even get to vote on which book is next. And it's not just books anymore. They even have a Shortform AI, which is a browser extension that will summarize any article or YouTube video that you're watching with a click of a button. Someone go use the browser extension to summarize this video in the comments. I think that would be pretty interesting. So check out my link, shortform.com/Rachel, down below to get a free trial of Shortform and an additional 20% discounted annual subscription. All right, let's get back to improving your planning habits. The second 1% improvement you can make is just simply by setting your planner somewhere you will use it. This is a form of environment design. When we intentionally choose what is visible and obvious to us in our environments, we can impact what we focus on in a huge way, especially for those of us who struggle with being blind to our projects unless they're literally right in front of our face. So this is a really easy trick because you're just putting your planner away, essentially, but away becomes a spot where you will be actually using your planner. So when you're done with your planning routine on any given day, you put your planner away, which is in the next spot that you will use it. Some people's planners always stay on their desk, and so they will always be using their planner when they come to their desk. But my rule as someone who works a hybrid schedule is sometimes at work, sometimes at home, and often plans on the go, is that my planner's home is always with my laptop. So wherever my laptop goes, my planner is right there with her. This means at the end of a workday when I'm working from home, I will have closed my laptop and my planner goes right on top of it so that the next morning when I get up, it's that much easier to use my planner because it's literally the first thing I see. I have to physically remove my planner from the top of my laptop before I can open it up and get started working. This also makes sense for me because I do 90% of my work on my computer between my full-time job and YouTube. Most of it takes place on this bad boy right here. So having my planner, my productivity brain paired with my laptop, my productivity tool of choice, it just makes sense that they go together, and I will always be using my planner if it is near my laptop. And if I'm in office the night before, I usually put my laptop in my backpack, and it's so easy to just remember to put my laptop and my planner in my backpack together. It basically ensures that the next morning at the office, when I'm there instead of at my desk at home, I'll be pulling them out of my bag at the same time, and then I will be using them at the same time as well. I recommend stacking this habit of putting your planner in its new home after you are done using your planner for the day. Whether it's at the end of your workday or at the end of the night, physically place your planner where it belongs and watch how easy the next day is to just open it right up and get into your task lists. The next 1% improvement is to track your progress. Come on, y'all. You knew this was coming. We are all planners here, so it should come as no surprise that we're going to talk about tracking your planning itself. For some, this may seem totally unnecessary, and I get that. You're just tracking that you did the work, which might seem tedious on top of doing the work itself, but tracking forces us to notice when we are or are not doing and ask ourselves why. So the easiest way to do this is to add a planner tracking habit to your regular habit tracking tables. Lots of people who do planning like this or any other form are familiar with habit trackers. This is an example of a habit tracker. This is an example of a habit tracker. I was trying to do like a life in pixels for how my day was going. Obviously, as you can see, I am not a very good case for keeping up with habit trackers. So when I tell you that this next method has really been working for me, you can know that this is coming from someone for whom habit tracking is historically really, really hard. The method I have been loving lately is just checking off the days as they pass. So in my monthly section of my Hobonichi weeks, I am experimenting with more habit trackers all the time just because I love to push myself even when I know things may not work. The one that has been really sticking with me right now is checking off the days of the month. So a lot of people do this by coming into their planner the month that it is and just checking off the day. And you can see I've made little slashes here. When the day ends, I make a slash, I make a slash, I make a slash. A lot of people will do this just to check off the days as they go by. I've seen a lot of people who have like wall calendars, for example, just draw a full slash all the way through the calendar block or the day. I don't do that. I find that like clutters up the month. I think I tried that at some point. Did I try that? Apparently not. But what I found works is that every day when I am using my planner, I come into the monthly section and I just check off the day. So you can see there are some days, like Friday the 15th, I did not use my planner that day, so that day is not checked off. But on the 16th, you can kind of see it underneath this sticky note, which is covering some sensitive information. The 16th, I did use my planner, so I am crossing that one off there. And that means I can come back on this and just visually see really quickly when I was using my planner, when I was not using my planner, and I can track that progress in this very visual way. Usually I know from experience it is very busy days or weekend days or days that I have quote unquote off that I am not going to be coming into my planner. So I know for a fact this Friday was a super busy day, and that's why you don't see any mark there, because I didn't even have the brain space to open my planner that day. But for the most part, the second I open my planner, I come in here and I just check it off because I have fulfilled the habit of opening my planner. And once you open it, it's so easy to continue on and to go through your tasks and get everything you need to get looked at in your planner looked at. It's sort of like they say if you want to work out, you should fold up your workout clothes and leave them like on top of your shoes on the end of your bed or something like that, so that right when you wake up, you will change into those clothes. It's right there. It makes it super easy if the habit is actually putting on your workout clothes, because once you put on your workout clothes, you will go to the gym. It's the same principle here. I've opened up my planner. The habit is checking off the day. While I'm here, I'm going to fill out some habit trackers. I'm also going to say, hey, that's right, I can head over to my weeks. There's stuff that I need to be doing on my task list here. Maybe I'll check back in my daily pages. Is there anything I need to do there? Once you've opened your planner, it is really, really easy to keep going. So make that the habit that you track, opening your planner. The last 1% improvement that I recommend to you is to update your planner in 5 minutes or less. So I know we've all been there. We know we have to plan, but we feel so overwhelmed with the idea of going into our planners because we know we didn't fill out our habit tracker, or we set up a beautiful spread at the beginning of the week that we know we didn't fill out all the way. I'm here to give you permission to just go into those pages that you are afraid of updating and update them in 5 minutes. This is less of a habit and more of a trick that I encourage you to develop, because being able to take one pen and a 5-minute timer and go into your planner and plan out your life really fast is just something that's going to break you of the fear of messing up your planner. So let's practice. I have my 5-minute timer here. I have my pen and I have my planner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up to a blank weekly, which is going to be next week. So this is next week in my planner, and I need to do some light planning before I get into the week, so I'm gonna do that here. I'm intimidated by the blank page. I don't know what I have going on next week. I've gotta write it all down, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer to the 5-minute mark and just start and see how much I can get done. A mistake. Oh my God. Okay, we're just gonna play it off. Okay, I still actually have like 2 minutes left on my timer. That took me nearly no time at all, which is amazing. You can see I made a little mistake there, lol, but that's the purpose of this exercise, is to get out the basics of your week, of your schedule, of how you need to plan, and not be so worried about how it looks, if it looks pretty or not. Just make the habit that you're doing as easy as possible by knowing what this looks like for you. It's just a 5-minute timer. It takes no time at all. You only need one pen, and you set out what your week looks like so you understand you have a shape of it. Now, your weekly planning process may look a little different. Maybe you spend your time doing a task list or something like that. For me, this weekly view combined with my brain dumps, and I'll show you what those look like, really help me to feel like I'm on top of my week. And both of these take 5 minutes, if that, to get out on paper. And these 2 tasks are the bottlenecks for the rest of my planning. So make your planning 1% easier by targeting the bottlenecks as the habit, right? The habit is setting up the week. The habit is getting my brain dump out. That is going to then lead to the rest of my planning. If I don't get these done, nothing will get done and my life will be chaos. So identify your bottlenecks, start a timer, and zoom through them as fast as you can. You can always go back later and refine stuff, change stuff, add decoration. This is what a week looks like for me
me after I've added all the decoration and I've lived in it for a while. It looks a lot different. My brain dumps also look a lot different after I go back and refine them. This is one I did for July, and you can see I added a whole Eisenhower matrix here and categorized my to-do list. So the point is to just set a 5-minute timer, get the basics down, and then you can come in, refine later, and you will naturally want to do that because you've already started.
James Clear has a number of specific tips for building strong habits, and if you want to know more about them, I will leave his book linked in the description box below. But the important part, if you are using any of the techniques I mentioned here or that you find in that book or elsewhere on the internet, is that you be patient with yourself. This is a learning process. Nobody builds habits overnight. So let yourself grow naturally. Okay, if you want to keep hanging out with me, I do have a video right here next to my head on the screen with more productivity goodness. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Rachelle in Theory over there. And of course, I love you. Thank you for staying to the end, for being subscribed, for being awesome. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.